Hey guys, what is up? Domino here. We're doing the third mission slash fight for Final Fantasy Tactics, and I finally got past this level. I was really kind of noobing it out for a second. I forgot to set my team's skills, and that brings me to a really interesting part of this game that I will explain in a bit. As you can see here, I'm in the shopkeeper buying a bunch of swords I don't need because I didn't think that my guys were equipped, and I didn't think to check them before I went into it. So I bought a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't need, but just like in real life, don't really care. So um, anyway, this is the fitting room where you can basically fit on equipment. I love that this thing has a best fit option, which basically puts the best items you have on that character, which is really handy, I think, later in the game when you have a bunch of items and you're not sure which is better and you don't want to go through all the attack powers and percentages and whatever. Just hit best fit is what I did. And you're going to see in a second here, I'm going to go and modify my skills for a lot of my peeps in my group. Apparently, I did not have my skills set up, so I'm trying to save, what's his name? I don't know. There's a guy that comes up later, and you're supposed to save him. And if you do not have multiple characters with healing spells, you will most likely fail, which I did twice before I figured out what I was doing. So, very cool. I like this. I like this aspect of it. Anyway, I'm going to show you the bar. The bar is basically where you get rumors and stuff. A lot of times it has bounty missions, I know. Later on in the game, the bar can be kind of like the tavern in Skyrim. You can get quests and things to do here, but that's later on. So right now it's just kind of a bunch of lore. No, I didn't read this fast, but there are pages and pages of lore, just like the Elder Scrolls. Uh, Squaresoft and the Final Fantasy series has pages of lore. So much lore you could probably spend an afternoon reading it. This is cool. Big part of this game is customizing people. You can recruit additional people and whatever. You want to do that early on, though, because later on in the game, if you recruit somebody, chances are he's going to be a lower level and you're going to have to level him up and stuff. Here's the skills section. Okay, now I wasn't thinking, and I changed my profession to a chemist, thinking that I'd be able to use potions. Turns out I forgot to learn the potion skill, which I'm going to do in the next episode. Don't worry, I'm going to get all this straightened out. I'm really a noob at this game right now. I played this probably 10 years ago on the PlayStation 1, and not the PlayStation 1, the slim version, like the big chunky. The gray version that overheated, and I was really addicted to this game. This was a great game, and I actually got into it from a friend growing up, a childhood friend of mine. He's a really great guy, and he's the one that got me onto this game. And normally this would never be my thing. Normally I'd never been into this sort of RPG strategy thing, but I was just really left an impression on me, and it was probably one of my favorite PlayStation games of all time. I don't recall another PlayStation game that I got as much play out of. Now see, White Magic. I, like a nublet over here, did not learn the skills for these things that I was setting, so a lot of times I don't have any abilities that I can actually use. But I'm going to sort that out next episode. I'm going to get everything tweaked and whatnot. This is really a huge part of the game. Tweaking your people, and I guarantee you, I remember playing this game that a lot of times battles require multiple tweakings of your setup of your people, and a lot of times you'll just lose and you have to go back to the drawing board and come up with counters to what you're experiencing. So in that way, the game is a lot like trial and error. Just like a game of, say, Magic the Gathering, you have to set up your people with their skills, and kind of, it's a general good idea to have a wider range of what am I looking to say? Skills to deal with whatever you might encounter. So you definitely want to have a healer. I had a summoner that was infinitely useful in the when I first played through this game, and I'm a big fan of the summoner. He can really make or break the battle, especially if you have a bunch of enemies. But all of these guys, as you can see, Balbanes, Zalbag, these are all supposedly your family. Lord Dysarg, they all have funny names. You're kind of a half relative to all these people, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. But a lot of the characters that you see here are not so friendly. Let's put it that way. And later on in the game, attempt to do mean things to you, and you are usually forced to smack them down. So I'm gonna leave you guys to think about that. I'm not gonna ruin it, but if you have played this game before, you understand what I'm talking about. This is a very complex storyline. There are twists and turns, and people betray you, and blah 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 blah. And it's very in depth. I really dig it. Yeah, see, he's basically dying. This is just a cutscene, and leaves you with some parting words of advice before he ends up dying. Now that was a cutscene that was triggered by me just trying to move to the next spot, and so it turns out I didn't move at all. See, I'm there. So you have these little points you go to. Now, whenever that happens, that means you've encountered a battle. You won't always do that. It's random, just like in all the other Final Fantasy games. When you're walking around, you can have random encounters. And for the most part, they're generally easy to deal with. This isn't a random encounter per se. This is actually a quest battle, which I'm going to show you how I did it. And you notice I took Dick, my favorite squire. Oh, Dick. You are my favorite squire. Now, I can only bring 4 people right now because I have one extra important NPC guy, Delita. He's in my party. I don't have control of him, so he's counted after the fact. So you have about 5 people that you can play with. Now, this guy you see over here is Algus in the orange and blue. He's an integral character to the storyline. I don't exactly remember how he factors into it, but we will see through this playthrough, and we will definitely either kill him or befriend him. One of those things. I know it gives you a dialogue choice. I don't know what options those. I don't know if that's just flavor, like lore, or if that actually has any bearing on the events of the story. Something tells me that it doesn't really matter what option you pick, but I picked the quote-unquote the right one. Now, see, we got first turn, Delita. He makes this move every time. If you play this on any format, he's going to make that move turn 1. And he's going to throw a stone and it knocks back. Algus. Yes, that is his name. Just bear in mind that the overall theme of a lot of this game is betrayal. You can't really trust anyone, and just as soon as you get fond of somebody, they may stick around with you for a while, they end up betraying you. So keep that in mind. And you can see this character with the feather in his hat. I just scrolled off of him, but he's a thief, and that's a really awesome class. Later on in the game, they have the power to charm characters. You can have characters completely come over to your side of the opposite sex. So if you're a male thief, you can charm female thieves, and if you're a female thief, you can charm male thieves, or something like that. It's really complex the way they have this set up, and this is why I love this game so much. Much like a chess game, a lot of the beginning stages is just setting up your pieces, moving up to the point of where you can start skull cracking. And as you can see, I make some mistakes in here, but I'm gonna try not to point them out because. And see, this was me just kind of checking which characters have the potion skill, because Algus, the first 2 times I did this, Algus, the character that you're supposed to protect, he loves to run and tank no matter what his health is. So if he gets hit a bunch of times, he'll have like 12 health and he'll go tank everything in the room. He doesn't flee. He isn't inclined to flee like a lot of the other characters do when they're injured. A lot of times when a character is mortally injured or they're bent over or on their knee, like crouched or whatever, you can tell that they have really low health. A lot of times the AI will make them flee. They will run to the corner of the map, even though they know they're going to die. They're just going to flee because they have this self-preservation script. And Algus does not have that script for whatever reason, so he's going to fight till he dies. And so you need to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, see, I wasn't thinking over here. I thought I had a potion, and I thought I was going to give one to him. But alas, no. I didn't learn this. I didn't learn the item skill yet, so I'm going to work on that for next episode. I don't think I'm going to play a chemist. I don't think I'm going to play a chemist for my main character. I think I'm going to pick a different job. Probably not a knight. I don't know yet. Maybe an archer. I'm always a big fan of the archer because they have the ability to charge up arrows and do crazy amounts of damage. Alright, so we only got one of the squires down. Now see, I don't have the throw skill yet, which is a aspect of the chemist where he has the ability to throw potions across the map. So now I have to be adjacent to a character that I want to give a potion to, which kind of put a wrench in my plans over here. But I'm moving all my characters over to Algus to try and just body block. I'm thinking if I can body block Algus, I'll prevent the AI from attacking him. Because they like to gang up on him. But he's pretty safe right now. He doesn't have anybody around him, really, that could get to him in one turn. So, I'm not too afraid. Now see, he goes for me instead of Algus, which tells me that I think he has a low priority on the AI's list. And this is another unusual aspect of the game. You oftentimes have these little monsters that show up. I don't know if it's random. I don't think this one's random because it's always a cat. But it's just kind of this random cat is helping these thieves out. I don't know if this is a pet of theirs or if something else, but there are a lot of animals that you can charm later on in the game, and it's really cool to kind of collect these things. I don't know how else to describe it, but I remember a lot of time I spent playing Final Fantasy Tactics was trying to find these cool pets like different colored chocobos. I think that's what they call them. Chocoboos. Chocobadaga. And yeah, that's a big part of this game. If you get a skill that can charm these things, you can charm these animals, and it's a blast. So now I'm going to give a potion to Algus because he needs the health. Because I know he's going to run off and tank something. Get his wee self killed. And unfortunately, this is what I want to mention for this mission. If Algus goes down, you lose instantly. You don't get this 3 turns until his body turns into a crystal type deal. If he dies, the minute he dies, you lose the mission and you got to start over. So keep him alive at all costs. And right now, it's already the swing of the match has already gone in my favor. They have way people down. So just by sheer numbers, I think it's set in stone who's going to win. I used a bunch of potions here, probably unnecessarily, but they're cheap. I'll buy more. You see, each one of these bodies has a number under it. 3, 2, 1. Basically, when a character dies, you have 3 turns to either use a Phoenix Down on them and resurrect them, or use a resurrection spell or whatever. Or their body turns into a crystal. Now, if their body turns into a crystal, you'll get job points, HP, and MP. That's magic points when you walk over it. But they're gone for good. Once they turn into a crystal, they are gone for good. And that can be bad news, especially if it's a teammate. If it's a team member on your team, they will be gone for good. You have to reload to go get them back. So make sure you bring Phoenix Downs or bring a character capable of resurrecting people if you have characters that you do not want to lose. Now, if the main character, me, dies and his body turns into a crystal, you lose the game. So keep that in mind. Now see, I had 11 health, so I kind of ran away, held and stood back there, because I knew that thief up there was going to come get me. He's at full health, so that's not a fight I want to do with my main character. So I'm going to have my squire get up in his face. Then I was like, nah, use a potion. Now I'm just going to kind of body block him over here so that he'll be distracted with my squire and I can deal with the panther out here. Algus does a completely useless skill on this panther, 4 damage. Why wouldn't he just attack head on? Sometimes the AI is just dumber than you would ever imagine in this game. Evans the thief. Now he's going to run away because he knows he's outnumbered. Now the red panther is wounded, which is good because that red panther... I feel kind of bad because I don't like to beat up on the animals because, I mean, they're innocent, you know? But then again, he did try to claw my chemist in the face, so... If I had a charm spell, I would charm the animal. I would spend the turn charming the animal and get it on my team, which is always fun. Now see, she got raised a job level, which is different than a level. When you raise a level, your... from what I understand, your health and stuff go up. But when you raise a job level, you have access to new job skills. And so that kind of rewards you for leveling up both your job and your character. Now every time you level up with a job, I'm pretty sure you can go learn new skills. I forget exactly how it works, but I'm going to figure it out, and I'll probably talk about that in the next episode. Now see, we basically got this in the bag. There is no way that they are going to win this right now. It's just me versus this thief. Of course, all my players are on the other side of the map, so it's going to take a couple turns for me to get over there, which is frustrating, but now see, if you have a character go down and that character goes down, but then you win the match, I'm pretty sure your character comes back. So you don't have to resurrect a character if you're on the verge of winning. All you need to do is make sure you either resurrect them when the timer ends or beat the game when the timer ends. You can see all the numbers on these dead bodies are going down. Some of them have 0 on them. That means that if I were to wait a couple more turns, they would turn into crystals. But boom! I leveled up too. Now Algus is going to go do something useless. Now I'm just moving my characters. It's simply a matter of movement now. I can't even get into this thief here guy to beat him in a turn, so I gotta wait a little bit longer to deal with this guy. And boom! He's down. So that is the end of the 3rd mission of Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep releasing more of these, probably as quickly as I can. Thank you guys all for being subscribed, and thank you for leaving me a comment or hit me up on Twitter. I always respond to my comments, Twitter, tweets, whatnot. Thank you guys for watching, and more to come soon. Stay tuned.